No, I just feel so terrible. I want a home for me and my babies. I can't go on any longer. I'm not well. I shouldn't be living outside. I'm not a foul animal. I'm a person. Why are they so cruel? This bloody Chester West Council. I mean, the accommodation they showed me. I mean, it's awful. I could have ratted what they showed me. It was terrible. I mean, it's the Dean Hotel. Everybody who mentioned the Dean, they go, oh my God. That's where they put all the smackheads up. Everyone says in Chester. And they put me at the back of there. And it was terrible. The room was so scary. It was like a garden shed. They put them at the back. They called them chalets. And it was urine-drenched carpet. The stench was unbelievable. I gotta start off again because I can see it in my head and then I start off. And they had a tiny single bed in the corner. It looks like a child's bed. Covered with excrement stains on the bed linen because they hadn't cleaned it, and damp and everything in there. And to dump me in there, oh, it's horrific. It was worse than a prison cell. At least they're cleaned out and they're modern. I mean, this was horrific. It was awful, but that's got a terrible name, that Dean. It needs closing down. The health inspectors need to go there. It's in Hoole Road, Hoole, Chester. I don't know how anybody ever uses it. Well, they only do if they don't know about it anyway. Like there's the normal, they call it the normal hotel. That's a shithole too, because I've been in there once. It was terrible. Anyway, what was I going to say? I'm not concerned about that. I'm concerned about being on the streets, and everybody's asking me to talk about my babies. Yeah, I love them very much. So we had a home. My last home was in Heswell. It was the back of the bus station, and it was flat 2 High Road, Heswell, number 13, which is my lucky number, because my home that I was brought up on in 13 Grange Mile, West Kirby before then, on the Wirral. And I lived there from the age of 6 up until the age of about 22, and I was happy there, and that was my home. And I was 13 years in that flat, really happy it was my home. I mean, I had trouble with noisy neighbours and things, some rude neighbours that came in the flat next door. They were bloody nuisance. They wouldn't keep the noise down. It was terrible like that. But apart from them, it was a really nice little cosy home. I was so happy there. I think about it all the time. My bed and everything, all my toys around me. So my babies, people want to know about. Baby Button, he's the little one, like a pink gingerbread boy, all soft and furry, because I made them all. He's like the baby. Now, personality-wise, because people on here who think I'm nuts can think I'm nuts. Don't watch it. If you don't like me, don't watch me. If you're a cold heart, callous person, don't watch me. But if you're a decent person who wants to hear about it, please do. So Baby Button is pink, fluffy, gingerbread boy type thing. Now he is my baby, my baba boy, I call him. And he's the small one. He's only about this big, you know. And he's like baby size. And his personality is, he likes to show off, dance. He loves dancing and stuff. Ballet. He'd be gay. He'd be like a little gay boy if he was come to life properly for his mummy. He'd be like that with short, curly, blonde hair and big blue eyes. That's how I imagine Button. Absolutely gorgeous. Like that. Mummy's apple of her eye. That's what he'd be. Then I've got one girl called Goose. Now she's tall. She's about 8 foot tall. She's a ragdoll lady. She's really big. It took me ages getting her in the car that day when I tried. This is before my hip went bad, really. I was in pain, but it wasn't as bad as it is now. I can't walk anymore. But at the time when I moved them from the flat to the house, which was 6-7 years ago now, I'm talking, because I was in a flat in Chester, Saltney, for 3 years, which was a house, that was rented, that she put me in. I wasn't happy there at all. I didn't like it, but I loved the flat, so that was our home. So we broke our heart when we left. All of us did. So we got her in the car. Luckily, I had a really nice taxi driver that day that took us from the flat to the house, and I covered them all in cellophane clear bags so they could see how many It took me bloody ages. I was sweating like a beaver on heat. Anyway, we got her in the car. It took ages, and I said, "Oh, be careful with her. She's my daughter," I told the man. And then he said to me, "Don't worry, she'll be fine, she'll be fine." He seat belted her at the front, next to him. And we got them all seat belted in, and I got in the back. I think Boy was sitting next to me at the time. Anyway, she sulks a lot. She's like spoilt, wants her own way, she'd be a shopaholic like me, if I could be. like I used to be at one point, and she would be like me, and we'd get on like, we'd be like sisters. It would be lovely. Goose, my gorgeous Goose. And then I've got Boy. Now he's the sensible one. I call him a Chinese baby because he's got his hair like that, because I put a real like wig on him, not human hair, you know, like a wig I got off Birkenhead Market, a brown bob type wig. And he's got glasses on, he's very sensible, and he is the one in charge. I leave him in charge of them all. Very sensible and mature, but deeply, deeply sensitive is Boy. He's got a deep feeling, and he's a lovely, lovely boy all the way through. Then we've got Soft Rob. Now he would sleep next to me on the bed. He's a daft apath, he is. And he has glasses on, like, and he puts a big hat on his head. And he had a hat, actually, that was from Harrods ages ago, years ago I'm talking now. And he got that in the sale at Harrods. It's a posh blue hat, like a furry one. And he had that on his head. And it's a bit like Kyle from that South Park, you know what I mean, like that hat on the head, like pulled out the side, and he like a blue colour, it's lovely, and he just used to sleep at the side, but he's like very dreamy, very, very pleasant, very sleepy, very lazy, very lovely, but very lazy and laid back. Very laid back is Soft Rob. And then we've got I'm just trying Jack and John. Now, Jack is a nervous wreck, basically, and he's just a nervous one. He was made, the last one, he came into a stressful situation. He's just very nervous. And John, which is young and happy and ready to go, he's great. So that's the babies, and that I'm talking about. And then we do have Damien, who's just an inflatable, and he is out of control. His behaviour is out of control. Damien, little boy, like that, because he likes to expose himself. He'd be going about flashing and jumping around the place full of energy. And then I've got James as well. Now James is a torso that I got from a shop in Hessel years ago when I first moved there. And it was like a clothes shop that was closing down, I think. And it was like a men's dress shop. It was ages and ages ago. And he's got like a head. He looks like he's meant to be Gene Kelly, and head, but he hasn't got arms and legs, bless him. But he needs parts to make him up properly. But he's very posh, very suave, a bit like Hugh Grant. So he's very sensible, like a sort of, but he's like this. He's like Hugh Grant meets James Bond figure, you know. Oh yes, he needs a smart suit or an airline. He'd look good like a pilot, you know, that type of attitude for him. Very cool. Anyway, that's the babies for you, and they mean the world to me. And they're my family now. It sounds crazy, but people have let me down so badly since my grandmother died. And since my grandmother died, I started making ragdolls because I broke my heart. A big part of me went with her. She was a lovely woman. She was everything to me, every bloody thing to me she was. Okay? She loved the bones off me. I was her baby. And she wouldn't be able to cope with this. That's why I doubt sometimes there is life after death, because if there was, she'd bloody well show herself to me. And she knows I'm not scared. She'd come out and show herself. I mean, in broad daylight, they can if there's ghosts, can't they? So, I mean, I don't think there is. I don't know. Or she'd send somebody to help me, and nobody is helping me. There's nobody, not one person has done anything to help me properly. I mean, I've met people like can stay in a camper. I don't live in the back of a fucking camper van forever, do I? I can't get to sleep. My pain in my leg, it's cold in there, it's damp. I don't like it. I can't cope. I'd rather be outside than that. But I don't want to be outside. I can't be living outside. I'm not a feral animal. I just want my own home. That's why I think about my home in flat 13. I wish I could go back in time and get in their bed again. It was lovely on that bed. Because we had these satin pillowcase, Soft Rob laid at the side of me, and Button in the corner. He had his own little bed in the corner. And the others were all in the lounge. And they were on the sofa, Boy one side, Goose the other, so they shared the sofa. I used to sort of slide in the middle when I could, you know, and then I put my legs up on Goose and leaning back on Boy. It was lovely. And then Jack and John, they were like on the floor both sides of me. He was on a chair, Jack, and then John sitting on like a bean bag. And it was lovely. And we were very, very happy and cosy in there. And I felt safe with them around me because it was company. And it is company. It's like that man, I think, because I've been deserted, I've been treated so badly by people. Did you see the one with Tom Hanks when he's on an island and he gets a ball and he does a face? It's a survival technique. He has that ball and then he's attached to the ball when he leaves, and he's a grown man. Well, that's exactly how I can explain it. It's a coping mechanism. I know in Japan, they make an arm, they said. That's why they do robots over there. They make an arm, like a soft arm, like a pillow that goes round you and it clamps, because it's a comfort. It's like that, and a hand goes there and you can move it like that. I can remember seeing that program ages ago, and that was a comforter for people who live on their own. I mean, look at these, like, oh, they're perverts, I know, who have sex dolls and stuff, but a lot of these men have been treated badly with these women. They've used them for the money and different things, or left them and two-timed them, done horrible things. And a lot of these men, pilots and things, and doctors, I saw a documentary on that. Remember, that was on ages ago. And they have these doll maids. They're about £5,000 each, I think. And they have them in the dining room. They give them dinner. They propose them. They give them rings, lovely clothes, everything, because they're company for them, because they can't trust people. So it's not that you're insane or weird or anything that people want to, it's only immature, thick people that would bully that, people who don't have souls, who don't need company. But if you're a sensitive person, which I am, I'm very sensitive, I can't trust anyone because everyone's treated me so appallingly. So that's why I've put my love into cloth, because my cloth family love me and I love them, because Nanny went and she didn't want to go. She really didn't want to leave me. But she had no idea what she was leaving me to, how bad her behaviour would go after she left. He was useless, basically, my father. He did nothing to help. He was useless. My grandmother said that. Useless. Absolutely useless. And it's honest truth. He was useless, okay? Absolutely pathetic and useless. He was terrified of her mother. He was like water. That's what she used to say. Absolute wimp. Water. He wouldn't stand up to her. She was quite horrendous. She had me locked up in a psychiatric hospital because she's hard as nails, basically. Because she didn't like the fact that I had gender dysphoria, because I thought I needed to change sex. All I wanted was my breasts removed, because I felt dirty and perverted having them attached to me. They felt wrong. And a hysterectomy, that's all I wanted, so I could feel clean, because that's how it was right for me. But I didn't know whether I wanted to be a man, even though I sort of see myself male in a way, but definitely not lesbian. I see myself as a gay man. That's why I used to love Julian Carey. I absolutely love him. If somebody could send us to Julian, please do, because I've lost contact. I met him a few times, but I didn't know him personally properly. I just met him like a few times after pantomimes, and we had a chat, and he was really nice. He sent me flowers and things a few times, but that was a long, long time ago, and when he was on telly and stuff, and I just would wish somebody could send this to him, because he's a lovely man. He's a lovely man. He might help me. I mean, I don't want to be bothering them and staying with them. People think that. I don't want to bother them in their own personal space. But he could help me get it sorted in a place. He'd be able to do that. I mean, he was very friendly with Paula Grady. He's a lovely person too. Somebody can send this video. Please don't just watch it and do nothing. Please save my life. I'm a good person. I deserve my life to be saved. Because otherwise she's won. She told me I should kill myself at the age of 21. Or even before that. I think I was about 17 the first time she told me I was useless. She told me, you've got nothing going for you and you should kill yourself. I can remember that, and that was my own mother. And I was so shocked by it, you know. And she said it in a way that, well, it was horrible in a way, isn't it, you know. My grandmother always praised me up. She loved me. Loved the boats off me. So after she died, I was 24, she was 84. And it was horrific. And the horrible thing is I dreamt she died before she died, like a fortnight before even she got ill. And she went yellow in the face and very thin and was going further away from me, and we were reaching each other with our hands. And that was the dream I had, okay? And then suddenly they said, she had this funny rash come right around her, and she'd lost a lot of weight. And they said it was shingles because we had a useless GP there at the time. Absolutely useless. She should have been fired. Anyway, she was in a lot of pain and everything and was really ill. And another doctor comes and said, no, she's got cancer right through her. And they tested her and said, yeah, and she was dead. A fortnight later, it was horrendous. And they thought it was breast cancer that spread right through her. Suddenly at 84. And She died, and I can't believe it. It was horrible. It should never happen. It should never be apart from her. She's my nanny. I love you, nanny, with all my heart. Wherever you are. I wish there was a psychic on here that would actually get through to her and get a message, because my life is shit. I don't want to live, and I intend on. I'll have to try and do something. I'm trying to kill myself. I've tried hard, but I haven't been successful because I haven't got the guts. I'm terrified I'm going to end up in an awful hospital. I hate these NHS hospitals, and then I'm terrified of them. I'm hospital phobic. I'm a nervous wreck. With the psychiatric people in that hospital, it was horrific in there. They're not talking any sense. They were all on a medication, barring me. And she got me sectioned on lies. And